I would like to go now over to the questions, and for this I share my screen and open up Slido. Okay, and there's actually already one question from Pedro to you, Milan. You mentioned data is time and space correlated. Are you exploiting the fact it is correlated in space in both latitude and longitude, 2 dimensions?
Yeah, so with the round plus lossless, because the lossless compression algorithms that are used there are basically like off-the-shelf algorithms that are used, for example, also in like text compression or in audio compression. You're basically, what you're compressing is a 1D vector. So if you start with a, let's say, 2D field or 3D field, you somehow have to unravel that, right? So you could, for example, walk along the longitudes and the latitudes first, and then the vertical, or in any other kind of permutation. So in that sense, no, you're not making use of more correlation than just in 1 dimension only. In order to make use of the correlation in both, let's say, all space dimensions, as well as time, as well as, for example, you could think of ensemble members, you would really need to use the ZFP algorithm. And yeah, so that's exactly the reason why the ZFP is so much better than the round plus lossless.
Okay, thank you. We have also a question for Ayush, which we didn't respond yet. So Ayush, is a question also from Pedro. Is your project going to add Python bindings to OpenIFS?
Yeah, as a part of
it is, Ayush, excuse me, it is very hard to understand you. There's also a lag.
I can take this one if you want. Hi, this is Michael. I'm one of the supervisors. So it's not necessarily Python bindings that we're using. It's a wrapper package that I've written. That's basically Python based that just executes OpenIFS from kind of known free sets. So in that sense, it kind of is. It's also the same thing that underpins Tiberius project. So and yeah, this is being developed internally actually.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. That was interesting.
Okay, thank you, Michael and Ayush. There's also one question to Mohit from Zach. So that looks like a really nice way of identifying outliers in the data. I'm wondering if or how it can help to distinguish between outliers due to instrument problems versus outliers due to real exceptional pollution events that may be localized in space or time.
Yeah. Like when we are dealing with such a high quality of data, we did think about this. And yes, if there is, for once, our purpose is not to exactly identify one data point, rather we are trying to look into the stations, like if that station is working well or not. So in the way we put in score to our stations, so if that event occurs many times, then what will happen is, like, if there are very high values many a times, which may be due to sensor or any other technical fault, then we will put that station as a kind of a red station or station which we have to look into. But yes, if once or twice just there are very high values, we are not going to penalize our station that much. So yes, at a global scale, it is very difficult without looking into one particular station, that whether it's a high event or it's a technical fault. But in the end, it will help us to summarize whether a station might have more of a technical fault or is it just a high value.
Okay, thank you, Mohit. Okay, so far we don't have any questions anymore. I would like to, before we close, because we already a bit over an hour, I would like just to thank everyone for your time today, even it was a bit longer than anticipated. Thank you to the speakers for the presentations and the great work and the projects, and we're already excited to see the full results on 16th of October. And this is also what I would like to point out. So for all the attendees today. If you're interested in a follow-up of the project results you've heard and seen today, so please save the date on 16th of October 2020. We will organize the final ECMWF Sum of Weather Day as Weather Code Day, and this will be the chance to get or to hear about the results of all the 10 projects of ESoC this year. For updates on this, we ask you to follow us on Twitter, or you can also go to our website esoc.ecmwf.int. And as already the project teams today showed you, ESoC is about open source development. So please go to github.com/ESoC. You can go to challenges_2020 and you see an overview of the projects. And then each project is also has their own repository, and you can also follow all the open source developments there. And yes, with this, thank you again, everyone, for joining today. And yes, I wish you a nice day, evening, or morning. Thank you and goodbye.